It turned out the family had something of a sordid past themselves, accused of filing false claims in the past, and so the jurors ultimately concluded that there wasn't enough proof to show that Michael Jackson had committed these crimes. He was acquitted, but as I said, he never really was the same. I mean, that trial, the whole world was watching. I mean, we've all been to these big media events, but there was nothing like this. It wasn't just the national media, it was the international media. And then there would be throngs of fans across from the courthouse, people who just loved Michael Jackson, and they would scream and yell, frankly, at the reporters as we would go into the courthouse because they didn't like some of the details that were being reported about the case. So it was just one of those kind of cultural phenomenons in many ways. And I forget the sort of sideshow that would happen outside the courtroom. There was a time when Michael Jackson said he had terrible back pain and didn't come to court one day. The judge, who just was the kind of judge who was just a very no-nonsense judge and didn't want any antics, told Tom Mesereau, "You better get your client here in an hour." And there was literally a countdown clock on cable, people wondering, is Michael Jackson going to make it to the courthouse or will he be held in contempt in court? And then lo and behold, he walked in his pajamas, which all happened live on television. And in fact, there was another occasion outside that courtroom, David, when, and a lot of people remember this video, I'm sure we're showing it. This was actually early in the case, before the trial, during the arraignment. There were so many fans that came to the courthouse hoping to get a glimpse of him that he hopped up onto the SUV and did a little dance, something that did not go over well with the judge in that case. So that trial will be as much a part of the Michael Jackson story as all of his other triumphs in music since he was a little boy.
NBC's Savannah Guthrie. Savannah, thank you very much. And again, for those of you who are just joining us, NBC News is reporting, we're reporting at this hour, that Michael Jackson has died. Jackson apparently, well, it's unclear what the cause of death was, but a number of reports this afternoon that paramedics were summoned to Jackson's Holmby Hills house, where Jackson was unconscious and unresponsive. The paramedics performed CPR. That, of course, did not work. Jackson was taken to the UCLA Medical Center, where doctors pronounced him dead after he had apparently been in a very deep coma. Jackson's family members, his father Joe, and there's something of an estranged relationship between Michael Jackson and his father, but nonetheless, Joe Jackson told our NBC affiliate in Las Vegas this afternoon that he had been told that Jackson had been in cardiac arrest or had suffered some type of heart attack. All of this came at a time when Michael Jackson was less than just a couple of weeks away from starting a 3-year-long world tour, which Jackson had hoped to essentially resuscitate his music career, wipe out the debt that he had incurred, and essentially get back his reputation that had been tarnished in large part from that 2005 trial that Savannah was mentioning. We're told that Jackson had been working out with a physical trainer, that he'd been trying to get in appropriate physical shape for a demanding concert tour so that he could give the sort of performances that his fans, many of them, expected and anticipated from Michael Jackson. But again, NBC News is reporting that Michael Jackson this afternoon died. Jackson, of course, part of the famous Jackson 5 from Gary, Indiana. Jackson was 50 years old. He will long be forever remembered, not only for the weird behaviors and the pajama arrival at the courthouse and all the problems that seemed to follow Michael Jackson the last couple of years, but his album Thriller in the 1980s is the single biggest selling album in U.S. history. It made Jackson a fortune. It was a fortune that some Jackson fans felt was wasted away on things that they couldn't quite understand. There were episodes, of course, throughout the years with Michael Jackson that just seemed so strange, but as strange as Michael Jackson was, and you can see from some of his fans, he was a beloved figure in so many ways. It is just an amazing and incredible and shocking scene, I would suppose. It would be a good way to describe it, in Los Angeles now, outside the UCLA Medical Center, where throngs of reporters and bystanders have come to try to get the official confirmation, the official word from the hospital, even though we've already gotten it ourselves through our sources that Michael Jackson has died. NBC's Michael Oku is now live outside the UCLA Medical Center. And Michael, why don't you describe the scene?
Well, David, you got that right. I mean, this is certainly a major scene here. If you weren't reading the reports either on the computer or watching television, you would certainly know just by passing through here that something very serious is happening. Choppers are buzzing overhead. Crowds are forming on the streets. We're talking about an area of some 4 large city blocks at least, and as far as I can see, there are people teeming on the sidewalks everywhere trying to get a look at what exactly is happening here. And of course, media vans have started arriving on the scene. Those familiar orange and yellow cones have been placed on the sidewalks, on the streets to redirect traffic. Again, obviously a major scene here at the UCLA Medical Center. What we know at this point, again, is NBC has confirmed that Michael Jackson, the legendary performer and singer, has in fact died. Other reports say that he died of cardiac arrest. What we can surmise at this point is that at some point around 12:30 this afternoon, according to reports, paramedics with the Los Angeles Fire Department arrived on the scene as a result. That is at his home. Just one moment, David, as more responders get here for perhaps other reasons. Again, at about 12:30 this afternoon, based on a 911 call that came from Michael Jackson's rented home in the Holmesby Hills section of Los Angeles, responders came to Michael Jackson, found that he had absolutely no pulse, worked to revive that pulse, and were unable to, at which point they rushed him here to the UCLA Medical Center, where we understand that he was declared dead here. Again, Michael Jackson was trying to relaunch his career, a major performer and singer, obviously, in the 1970s after having created his own solo career after the Jackson 5, and obviously had some very difficult times, some allegations of child sexual abuse. There have been reports, of course, that he has been having some very serious financial problems. A report in the Wall Street Journal recently saying that he was at least half a billion dollars in debt, and that he was trying to get his home back again, or to try to sell it, that he was having some hard time trying to upkeep that Neverland Ranch. Was launching major concerts in Europe, was working overtime to do that. Now, of course, we understand that he's passed away. David?
Michael Oku outside the UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles. We're joined now on the phone by Mark Lester, who is the godfather of Michael Jackson's children, Prince and Paris. Mark, obviously, our sympathies, our condolences are with everybody in the Jackson family and everybody who's close to him. I wonder if you can just tell us what you heard today, what you know, your reaction.
Yeah, cool. Okay, mate, give me a call back in a minute, okay? Cheers.
Mark, it's David Schuster. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, Mark, it's David Schuster, and I just want to get your reaction, our sympathies, of course, with the entire Jackson family. You're the godfather of Michael Jackson's children. I wonder if you can talk about the situation as you know it.
Well, we're just absolutely shocked, and we're absolutely devastated. We're just hoping and praying that these reports are unfounded, but I mean, it's so sad. We were with Michael just shortly, and he was in such good form, such good spirits, so positive. I'm just absolutely devastated about the whole thing.
Mark, when was the last time that you saw Michael? You said that he was in good spirits. He seemed to be doing well.
Well, we spent a lot of time when he was here in London. He was preparing for it and did a presentation at the O2 Arena, and he was in just such a high. He was focused, and he was just really looking forward to his concerts here in London.
What was he like as a father? I mean, we